trust is the bedrock and foundation in any relationship. So where there is no trust, ultimately there will be chaos. And what we found and what I know from experience is that any type of work where multiple people, multiple entities who may have a shared agenda, but then have their own specific goals and objectives for their organization, community work is messy. And because it is messy, the first principle is trust. And when we found that trust wasn't present, it was generally due because one, the each organization had not clearly identified and established what their role, what their desire, what their goals, and what their some people believe hidden agenda might be. And if people perceive that there's a hidden agenda, then they're less likely to trust and to be able to give all that they can to the success of the collective endeavor. So we always made sure that we looked at the principles from the levels of co-work. And these levels of co-work allowed us early on to establish the trust factor by making sure that there was complete transparency, everyone's organizational role or individual desires and their agreements for impact were clearly delineated. When there was lack of communication and there was not transparency, trust became even more difficult. And it certainly did cause, in a lot of communities, the results not to be as great as or significant as they could be. So we had every member of the team for every initiative that we worked on establish where they were in the levels of co-work, starting with no communication. There are people who, you can try to force people to engage. And if they are at a place in their work and for their organization where there's no communication, we honored that. That meant that, you could send them information, but it would be one way. I mean, we could keep them informed. The next was communication, where they were willing to accept communication. They might send us communication, but you aren't expecting that they're actually going to work at that next level of co-work, which is going to be cooperation, right? Where they're willing to work and put a stake in the ground, and they've got an investment in the outcomes that you're all working toward. So we had those folks that were, willing to cooperate. So that means they may provide information, they may provide some people but clearly identifying the roles. The next was coordination, where we've decided that for this particular initiative, I'm at the level of coordination where I'm willing to work on a committee, work with a team that has specific objectives and outcomes and timelines. And my organization is going to send a decision maker to be involved and engaged in that process so that we are not operating in hearsay. We've got a stake in the investment. We are present, accounted for, and we're holding ourselves and this entire entity accountable. Then we had the next level, the highest level, being collaboration. Mm-hmm. And collaboration meant that we're willing and we're invested in working together to create something new. And as we're doing that, we're willing to invest more, whether it's not just, it could be human capital, it could be financial resources, it could be, facility space, but we're willing to put in more, and we are committed to creating a new innovation, perhaps that may not exist, but when we complete this, there are going to be better outcomes. We're going to have targeted evaluative measures that's going to allow us to know that we've been successful in the work that we've done.